Hey guys, we're back with another video tutorial. This one is going to be all about our support files and how, specifically how we manage the downloads on the website. And the main skill in this video is going to be adding new downloads to the FTP client and then modifying the existing pages here to let the buttons know where to generate their download links from. So just quickly, some of the things that we're not going to do in this video, we're not going to be adding new pieces of software to this column. We're just going to be modifying ones that already exist currently, because just for purposes of time, it's probably easier to make this one skill and then to record that one separately. So the first thing you're going to need to have on your computer is an FTP client. So I'm going to do this video with the assumption that you have that and know how to use it, but if you want more instruction on that next time, just let me know and I'll do a separate video, or I can explain over the phone how to set up an FTP client. Mine is FileZilla, so I'm going to open that one. And you can see I'm already logged in here. I'll give you your login information, but when you're logged in, it's going to put you in a folder that holds all your download files. As you can see, as I scroll through here, these video folders, these software folders correspond with the different software that was provided to me. So the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out which piece of software we're modifying. For the purposes of this example, I'll just take the first one, EDV EX0408, and I'll go back to the FTP. So I'm looking for the folder that corresponds with those pieces of software, and it happens to be the last one. They're not listed in any particular order, so you might see the orders a little bit different here. If I open that up, I'll see two files. This is just a ghost file. You don't need to do anything with that, just leave it there. And the second file we're going to see is our actual zip file. And you can see by its file size, that's the one that we want. That's a considerably big file, so we know that it's not the just ghost file, which is much smaller. And then obviously we've kept the naming very clear, which is something that you're going to want to do just so you don't confuse yourself down the road. So let's say that we want to change this file. Perhaps there's been an update to the software. So what I would do is I would delete the zip file by highlighting it, clicking on edit, not clicking on edit, right-clicking on the file name itself, and then clicking delete. I'm not going to do that right now because it might create some problems for the website. We don't have anything to replace it with right now, so I'm going to leave it up. If we did have something to replace it with, I could delete it and then replace it with a file that has the exact same name. If you do that, you'll have no problems. But let's say for now that the file I was replacing it with is test file. I would drag it over from the location on my desktop. Here it's in a folder called test. I've navigated to it already, so I'll drag it into the folder. I have the test file ready to go, so I'm going to right-click that once it's selected, and I'm going to click copy URL to clipboard. When I do that, that's the same as copying the location of where that file is. So now it's ready to paste, just like we copied and pasted from the media section for our catalogs. Let me just make that clear. When I go back to my window now, I can paste that somewhere, and now we see the link to that file. This is going to be very important So make sure that you have a good understanding of how to copy it. Again, we go back here, right click, copy URL to clipboard. Now I'm ready to go back to the website and go to the download page. This is going to be located in our pages, and it's going to have the exact same name as the link on the page. So if I go back here to support, it has the exact same name, EX0408, as the listing in the pages. So if I click on this, you now should see some code that's pretty familiar. If you remember from our catalogs lesson, this is the exact same code that we use to generate a button. And that makes sense because, after all the links to download software are just buttons. So this isn't showing any text right now. That's a little bit weird. We're going to want to fix that in a second. So if I go back to the edit page, you'll now see the URL. And this is normally where we would paste the download link. But this looks a little bit different. So if I were to just paste that download link that we copied to the clipboard, it doesn't look exactly the same as we want it to look here. That's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to select from after the slash in this number here. You don't want any of this. You don't want that slash. You're going to select the folder, because remember, we put it inside the EDV EX04 EX08 folder. You want to tell it that folder, so you're going to keep that. That's what this is. And then you're going to keep testfile.zip because it tells the button to download this exact file within this folder. So let's get rid of the beginning. Let's take this. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to select over the old file. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to click Update. Now there's a new file that this button is pulling from. If I click on the button, it's not downloading the old software file. Sorry, I refreshed the page. If I click the download button, it's now downloaded a syllabus for one of my classes. That was the test file that we used, and so it opened it up for me automatically. But if it was a piece of software, it would open up the software and then it would start running for the user automatically. So this video just showed us how to modify existing links. In future videos, we're going to show you how to add actual links to this menu. As always, practice around with this. Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. One thing that I want to be super clear about is you should always be deleting the old file that you use, because if you just let old files accumulate and replace them, but you leave them on the actual server, it's going to make the website run slower. And eventually you're going to max out the storage. If for any reason you need to be adding more without removing old files, we can definitely add more storage, but that's just a separate conversation. So again, the reason I didn't delete it this time is because I don't have anything real to replace it with. So I'm going to delete the test file. I'm going to copy this URL again so we can put the real file back in there. If I paste it in, I'll be able to clip out just the part that we need. and put it right back in there. I'll make sure all this text is gone. Update. And now, if we refresh the page, it should download the correct file. And it does.